Operation James Bond was a covert intelligence operation undertaken by the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, the precursor to the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, during World War II. The operation aimed to establish contact and potential collaboration with anti-Nazi elements within Germany, especially those seeking to overthrow Adolf Hitler's totalitarian regime. The initiative took shape during a critical juncture of the war when the Allies were keen to explore any opportunity that could accelerate the downfall of the Third Reich and end the devastating global conflict. By the mid-1940s, it was evident that the Axis powers, led by Nazi Germany, were facing mounting military pressure from the Allied forces. The Allies were gaining significant ground in various theaters of the war. As victory seemed increasingly likely, there was a growing desire among the Allies to expedite the end of the war, reduce further casualties, and secure a more favorable peace. Within the Allied intelligence community, particularly the OSS, discussions emerged about the possibility of engaging with factions within Germany that opposed Hitler and his despotic rule. This notion was driven by the understanding that there were dissenting voices within Germany, including military officers and officials, who were disenchanted with the Nazi leadership and sought to remove Hitler from power. The Allies, led by the OSS, envisioned that collaborating with these anti-Nazi elements could potentially result in a coup against Hitler or an internal upheaval that might lead to a surrender or a ceasefire. Such an outcome, it was believed, could expedite the conclusion of the war and potentially prevent further devastation. Alan Dulles, an astute diplomat and intelligence officer within the OSS, was chosen to spearhead this operation. His expertise, understanding of European affairs, and diplomatic connections made him an ideal choice for this sensitive mission. Dulles was stationed in Switzerland, a neutral territory that provided a crucial base for conducting secret negotiations and intelligence activities. The code name, James Bond, was given to the operation, perhaps as an early example of the use of intriguing monikers that later became synonymous with intelligence operations. This operation aimed to channel the spirit of espionage, adventure, and intrigue, mirroring the fictional character James Bond, who would become iconic in literature and cinema. The primary objectives of Operation James Bond were: establish contact and collaboration, initiate communication with anti-Nazi elements within Germany, particularly those within the military and intelligence sectors who were opposed to Hitler's dictatorship, explore the possibility of their collaboration with the Allies, foster a coup or internal uprising, encourage, support, and strategize with these anti-Nazi factions to orchestrate a coup or internal uprising that could potentially lead to the overthrow of Hitler and his government. Facilitate negotiations for ceasefire or surrender. If successful, negotiate with the new German leadership for a ceasefire or a surrender on terms that would be advantageous to the Allies, ultimately hastening the conclusion of the war. While the objectives were clear, Operation James Bond was fraught with challenges and risks. Negotiating with elements within a totalitarian regime like Nazi Germany was a perilous endeavor. The risks included security risks. The operation could be compromised, leading to the capture or elimination of agents involved, endangering the broader war effort. Trustworthiness of German contacts. Assessing the reliability and trustworthiness of the German contacts was a significant challenge. It was uncertain whether these anti-Nazi factions could be trusted to deliver on their promises. Fear of retribution. Potential fear among German contacts regarding retribution from the Nazis if the coup failed posed a significant hurdle. Despite these challenges, Operation James Bond was initiated, reflecting the Allies' determination to explore any avenue that might bring an early end to the war and secure a more favorable peace. As Operation James Bond progressed, it became increasingly evident that negotiating with anti-Nazi elements within Germany was fraught with challenges and complexities. The operation faced several hurdles, ultimately leading to its inability to achieve its primary objectives. The German officers and factions approached during the operation were understandably cautious and hesitant. They were deeply concerned about the potential consequences of engaging with the Allies, particularly if their efforts were unsuccessful. Fear of severe retribution by the Nazis was a significant deterrent. Adolf Hitler remained resolute and uncompromising in his grip on power. He was unwilling to entertain any notion of surrender or negotiation that would undermine his authority. His absolute control over the German military made it challenging for dissenting factions to organize effectively. Some Allied leaders, including Winston Churchill, were skeptical about negotiating with elements within Germany. They believed that unconditional surrender should be the only acceptable outcome. Diplomatic channels were also constrained due to the reluctance of certain Allied powers to engage in negotiations. The German resistance, plagued by internal divisions in the aftermath of the failed July 20, 1944 plot to assassinate Hitler, had weakened considerably. The loss of key figures and lack of unity diminished the potential for a successful internal coup or uprising. With the rapid advance of Allied forces into Germany and the accelerating collapse of the Nazi regime, time became a critical factor. The imminent end of the war left little room for protracted negotiations or attempts to foster a significant internal revolt against the Nazis. The operational limitations posed by the covert nature of the operation, the need for secure communication, and the challenges of coordinating disparate factions further complicated efforts to negotiate effectively with anti-Nazi elements. Despite these challenges and the ultimate failure to bring about a coup or internal uprising, Operation James Bond provided valuable insights and experiences that would inform future intelligence and covert operations. The operation underscored the complexities of negotiating with dissenting factions within a totalitarian regime, highlighting the need for adaptability and strategic foresight in the world of intelligence and espionage. Operation James Bond, while falling short of its ambitious objectives, left a lasting legacy and imparted crucial lessons that shaped the future of intelligence operations and diplomacy. Here's an overview of the operation's legacy and its broader impact. Understanding the dynamics of dissent. The operation provided valuable insights into the dynamics of resistance and dissent within totalitarian regimes. It shed light on the challenges of gauging the reliability and intentions of dissenting factions and underscored the importance of comprehensive intelligence in assessing potential collaborators. Evolution of covert operations. Operation James Bond marked a turning point in the development of covert operations. It emphasized the need for nuanced, adaptable, and strategic approaches in intelligence activities. The operation's experiences influenced future clandestine efforts, emphasizing the importance of carefully planned, multi-layered strategies. Balancing risk and reward. The operation highlighted the delicate balance between risk and reward in intelligence operations. It demonstrated that while high-risk initiatives could yield substantial gains, they also carried the potential for significant setbacks. This understanding guided subsequent covert operations. Post-war intelligence and diplomacy. Post-World War II, the experiences and knowledge gained from Operation James Bond were incorporated into the evolving strategies of intelligence agencies and diplomatic endeavors. Covert operations and negotiations with dissident factions continued to play a role in the emerging global order. Legacy of intelligence collaboration. The operation set a precedent for international intelligence collaboration. It demonstrated the potential for engaging with elements within adversary territories during times of conflict, laying the foundation for future efforts to explore diplomacy, intelligence sharing, and covert collaboration in subsequent conflicts. Operation James Bond serves as a historical testament to the complexity and challenges inherent in intelligence operations, especially during times of war and geopolitical upheaval. While it did not achieve its desired outcome, the operation's legacy lives on in the annals of intelligence history, influencing modern practices and strategies in the realm of intelligence and covert operations.